welcome to AFK Games. I'm Eon.
And I'm Eddie.
And you're watching the very first
#1
vlog of AFK Games, and we'll be looking at a whole lot of game reviews, game previews, the latest game gossip, and gaming culture.
Oh yeah. So what does AFK stand for, Eon?
This week, I'm pretty sure it's Armadillo Fur Kilts, but next week,
Yeah, okay.
who knows? So what are we looking at today's episode?
Today we're going to be looking at our first impressions of Age of Conan, the new MMO out by
Very
Funcom.
nice. So we'll get started off on what is Age of Conan. Well, most people know who Conan is. If you didn't, he's a barbarian.
He is also known as Schwarzenegger.
Our Californian governor.
Conan was originally a series of books and comics that were written.
Made famous by a movie.
Made famous by 2 movies, actually. Well, the second was not as good. Starring Arnold Schwarzenegger as the bulky barbarian.
And now Funcom have turned this movie series into a massively multiplayer online RPG, which we're all familiar with, since most of us have played, well, World of Warcraft, LOTRO, and about a billion others out there.
Conan has a few different things to some other MMOs that are on the market currently, and we'll be going through that so that you know whether you want to play it or not.
Exactly.
But first, today, me and Aeon got our own copies of Age of Conan. We got the special limited edition collectors.
Yeah!
And if you haven't noticed, this is huge.
It is massive.
The dimensions.
You practically need to bring a separate bag when you come home to bring it back, because this thing almost broke the bags that we were given from EB, and if you know EB, those bags aren't bad. So let's have a look at what's inside the box. Well, first there is this pointless cover, which we'll take off quickly. Get in there. And you have...
And oh, you'll note on the side of the box it has a collectible holographic sticker.
Yes, one of a total number of 86,000, which means that getting a special copy is actually worth something compared to most limited editions.
Yeah.
Okay, so we now open the box and see we've got
It's
some...
quite beautiful. I really like it.
We've got some pretty nice art of Conan, as you can see, standing in his chair with his groin to our faces. A little bit of a preface. I'll see if I can open it on the camera. And then we've got an Age of Conan art book.
Which is fantastic. The amount of artwork and costuming and modelling which has been done for this game is just mind-blowing. The icons are beautiful, the environments are beautiful.
It is 128 pages of actually really nice art, which you may never use, but hey, it might be good for your living room coffee table, depending if you're a geek or not. Personally, we are...
It's on my table.
Yes. What else do you get? Well...
a lovely leatherette map.
Showing all of Hyboria.
And just for those who haven't played, you start off in Tortage, which is about here, in the Barrachan Isles.
There we go. So
the world is hugely expansive, and there's so much to explore, so hopefully we haven't gotten there yet.
Yes, and just as a size of the map, Barrachan Isles, that's Tortage. That tiny little island, that is your entire starting area. What else do we have in this box of fun? We've got game discs, menus, and bonus content. So if we open it up, you'll see some nice art.
Quite pretty, quite pretty.
And it's got 4 discs.
But only 2 are the install discs.
Still, that's 2 DVDs worth of content. So if you don't want to download the 24 gig client,
yeah, you better refuse using these.
Get the DVDs.
There are a lot of patches that they've released since they went live, and oh my god, there are so many patches. So you really want to
reduce the amount of bandwidth you're going to be using on this game.
We also have a bonus disc with the making of and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And a soundtrack, which is
totally worth it, but we'll go into that soon.
Yeah.
Also, you've got your pretty standard game manuals and promotional materials.
Yep.
So
buddy keys as well. So
if you want to see our key, well, too bad you can't.
Yeah, because I've already used it though.
Yeah, so you'll just be doing nothing. But that's pretty much what's inside your standard Age of Conan Collector's Edition.
So as for the actual game itself, there's a lot to be said about, well, everything. Starting off with the character creation, there are 3 different races and 4 different class archetypes. Do you want to go over those?
Well, I'll go over the races and you can go over the classes because you know them better than I do. So your three basic races. You've got the Stygians, who are sort of, I guess, the real-world equivalent of the classical Egyptians. You've got your Sumerians, who would be fair to say are more Nordic.
Very Celtic, Valkyrie kind
Definitely. You've got sort of Viking vibes going on.
Yeah, it's cool.
You know, yeah. And thirdly, you have the Aquilonians, who are more sort of Greek, Italian, very Roman. Although they do span, some of them have Russian accents, but you just have to wait to see them in game. As for the classes, there are 4 archetypes, which are all pretty standard we've seen in MMOs.
But some of the classes have been changed to fit in the Conan universe, and they're very interesting. So you have the soldier, and under that tree is are the classes of Conqueror, Dark Templar, and Guardian.
And they sort of fit your standard tanking class as well as a bit of a balance.
Yeah, with the exception of the Dark Templar, which is kind of like a life-sucking melee. Yeah. You have the Rogue.
My favourite.
And under the Rogue you have the Assassin, the Ranger, and the Barbarian. You also have the Priest, and each race has their own priest. So there's the Priest of Mitra for the Aquilonians, Tempest of Set for the Stygians, and Bearshon for the Cimmerians. Then you have finally the Mages, which can only be Stygians.
Yes, it turns out the Egyptians are the only ones with the classes in the game, and you've got the options of...
You have a Demonologist, Necromancer, and a Herald of Zolti, which can hulk out and transform.
What's more fun than you could have fighting that pesky pirate, turn into a big mofo demon and slay them.
It's good fun. Apart from the character creation, which is insane, the amount of sliders you have, and the skin color, and the hairstyles, and the faces, you can make something that's really, really hideous, or really, really, really
attractive.
Pretty.
The good thing is, though, it's very different from a lot of other MMOs in that you don't have a set of pre-selected faces, and you've only got like height shaders. You can change. You can give your character thunder thighs. You can give them a big nose. You can give them a wide brow. But it's a really good choice, which we don't see in a lot of other MMOs.
Yeah, it's good. I especially like the body sliders and stuff because you can get people who look so different.
Exactly. Plus,
which is what we want.
Yeah, it's nice to have a little bit of control over how your character looks instead of having all the women in the game be big-breasted, small-waisted World of Warcraft clones.
Yeah, so that's good. Moving on to the UI and the graphics. Some people dislike the interface, but I actually quite like it. It's
pretty standard for an MMO, so I guess I couldn't see the point of arguing about it. As far as interfaces go, it's pretty convenient. You're going to get everything you need, and it's really nice. It fits into the game world really well.
It's kind of slots into the rest of the gameplay, so it would feel weird having some tiny minimalistic thing.
Exactly.
And it does its job. I haven't had it break on me yet, so that's good. The graphics are beautiful. They're really, really nicely done.
Definitely. From a technical perspective, the game has full DirectX 9 and 10 support. DirectX 10 currently isn't quite in the game, but if you've seen some of the DirectX 10 trailers, it looks pretty nice anyway. Even when it's only running DirectX 9, the game's up there as far as PC games go. Performance-wise,
it has its moments. It can be quite sluggish on really good rigs. It needs a lot of memory.
It does.
A bit of a performance whore, but you know, for what it is, it can run quite well if you just lower all the distance sliders and stuff.
Definitely. I mean, in terms of what kind of rig you'll need to run this maxed out, the same rig that Run Crisis maxed out is probably going to deal this pretty well, and if not, well, the game still looks really great on low settings, so it would be unfair to discredit it otherwise.
I've also noticed that the textures make a huge difference. Having them high is going to make your gaming experience so much better. They look fantastic and they put a lot of effort into this.
Definitely. The art in the game is incredible. We both can agree. The effort that's gone into making every single detail from this game really come from the Conan universe is massive.
It's fantastic. I really like the amount of depth that they've gone into in creating this world.